Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Kanta Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe
Anupute Devi Parmani Hare
Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirviseshasha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarupyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So let's continue with our Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10, Text 6. Nirodha Asyanushayanam Atmanaha Saha Shaktibihi Muktir Hitman Yatha Rupam Swarupena Vyavasthitihi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The merging of the living entity, along with his conditional living tendency, with the mystic lying down of the Mahavishnu, is called the winding up of the cosmic manifestation. Liberation is the permanent situation of the form of the living entity after he gives up the changeable, gross and subtle material bodies. As we have discussed several times, there are two types of living entities. Most of them are ever liberated or nitya muktas, while some of them are ever conditioned. So there are two types of living entities. One who are living in the spiritual world, in Vaikuntha. The living entities who are in Vaikuntha are called, they are ever liberated. And they are majority because 3/4 of the people are, 3/4 of the creation is the spiritual world. So they are more liberated entities than the living entities living here in the material world. The ever-conditioned souls are apt to develop a mentality of lording over the material nature, and therefore the material cosmic creation is manifested to give the ever-conditioned souls two kinds of facilities. Now, why we are put here? Because we have the desire that I want to enjoy by myself, separate from Krishna. All these things that I'm seeing are for my enjoyment. Every one that I'm seeing is supposed to work to satisfy me and my desires. So to correct this behavior, we are put here in the material world. One facility is that the conditioned soul can act according to his tendency to lord it over the cosmic manifestation. And the other facility gives the conditioned soul a chance to come back to Godhead. So while we are here in this material world, we have a choice, independent choice of how we want to act. whether we want to continue to try to be the controller of this material energy that we are seeing, that everything belongs to me and everyone belongs to me, and I should enjoy everything and everyone to the fullest of my capacity. Or we have a choice to choose devotional service to Krishna, so that we can go back home, back to Godhead, that we don't need to be here anymore. So after the winding up of the cosmic manifestation, most of the conditioned souls merge into the existence of Mahavishnu, personality of Godhead, lying in his mystic slumber, to be created again in the next creation. Now, so we are all here. This is like a prison house, no? That the conditioned souls. And some of us who get purified, who don't want to be living here anymore in this material world, who have given up our desire. Okay, I give up. I don't want to. I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. We realize that. Then those souls go back to the Vaikuntha Lok. But the other souls who still want to continue to enjoy, what happens when Mahavishnu breathes in and all the universes go inside his body? We, the living entities who still want to enjoy the world, also come inside his body. But we still continue to remain individuals. It's not that we become Mahavishnu, that we melt, somehow we disappear, and then we don't exist anymore. No, we still exist as individual living entities. And again, when the creation happens, when all the universes are manifest, again, we are put inside this universe, and again, we start acting based on our desires. But some of the conditioned souls who follow the transcendental sound in the form of Vedic literatures and are thus able to go back to Godhead, attain spiritual and original bodies after quitting the conditional gross and subtle material bodies. So liberation means we are free not only of this gross body, but also of the subtle body. So many people, they say, oh, this person died, so theek hai, usko mukti mil gayi, acha hua, it's good they left, so they got liberated. It's not that. It's not that we have to get rid only of this material body that we can see. We also have to get rid of our subtle body, which consists of the mind, intelligence, and false ego. Till the time we are identifying with our mind will create more and more bodies for us. So liberation means giving up even the subtle body. Subtle body is also temporary, and it's changeable, So you see why we can accept giving up the gross body, because we have always given it up. So we know deep down that since time immemorial, we are giving up the gross bodies. One body to another. We have taken many, many bodies, although we can't remember it. But we know we have to give up this body. Now, what we are very attached to is our subtle body, because that's what we have not given up. It's there with us since time immemorial, our mind, intelligence, false ego. Of course, it keeps transforming based on our consciousness, but our false ego, that's why it's so thick, that I'm here in this. I'm separate from Krishna. It is so strong. And then by hearing and chanting about Krishna, we can give up this subtle body also. Our mind will become spiritualized then, and our false ego will be situated, then we can be situated in the true ego. False ego is that I'm the body. The true ego is that I'm eternal part and parcel of Krishna. So the material conditional bodies develop out of the living entity's forgetfulness of their relationship with Godhead. And during the course of the cosmic manifestation, the conditioned souls are given a chance to revive their original status of life with the help of revealed scriptures so mercifully compiled by the Lord in his different incarnations. Now, the reason the government makes the prison houses, the jail, the government makes it not that the prisoners have to live there, they have to always live there. No, the prison houses are made so that the prisoners get reformed, that they are not, that they change their habit of doing bad things and that they can be let out again into the normal society where majority of the people live. So this material world, I'm sorry? Oh, okay. So this material world is also, it's like a prison house for us, giving us a chance to correct our false idea that I'm this body. We are given a chance to revive our original status. How? Because Krishna gives us the Vedas. Time and again, he comes personally himself, or his different incarnations come. He keeps sending his pure devotees to tell us, because he wants us to come back home. Reading or hearing of such transcendental literatures helps one become liberated, even in the conditional state of material existence. So all we have to do, wherever we are, we just hear about Krishna from the bona fide authorities, from the bona fide representative of Krishna. All the Vedic literatures aim at devotional service to the personality of Godhead. And as soon as one is fixed upon this point, he at once becomes liberated from conditional life. So for a devotee, to get liberated is very easy. So that's why the Jamunacharya, one of the acharyas, say that liberation is waiting at the doorstep for a devotee. You know, what does liberation mean? To give up our false identification that I'm this body and to be situated in the real identity that I'm part and parcel of Krishna. That is true liberation. You know, not only to sit in the Brahma Jyoti, that is just a partial, temporary liberation, but to be situated as part and parcel of Krishna. And so for a devotee to get liberated is automatic. Is automatic. As soon as he's fixed that devotional service to the Lord. And all the Vedic scriptures only speak of that. If somebody is telling us something else, then we have to make sure who we are hearing from or what we are hearing from, you know. This devotional service is transcendental attraction for the Supreme on account of his being the source of all pleasing humors. Everyone is after some pleasure of humor for enjoyment, but does not know the supreme source of all attraction. Raso vaisa rasam hi evayam labdavanandi bhavati. Krishna is the source of all pleasure. We are all looking for pleasure. That's the reason we even do whatever we do. Every activity of ours we do is because we are looking for pleasure. We have the hope that this is going to make me happy. That's why we do it. And we are trying to do different things. We try different activities. Maybe this will make me happy. Oh, I'm not happy here. Maybe I'll have a change of a city or a country or a house. Maybe that will make me happy. Oh, I'm not happy in this situation. If the situation changes, I will be happy. So we are looking for happiness. But we do not realize that we can get happiness only when we are connected with Krishna. Otherwise, no matter how much we change, we are still in the material world. Every change, if we change based on the material situation, material circumstances, it's still material. It's not going to give us happiness. Happiness we will get only when we connect ourselves to Krishna. The Vedic hymns inform everyone about the supreme source of all pleasure. The unlimited fountainhead of all pleasure is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now it's up to us whether we accept it or no, whether we believe it or no. But this is the fact. If we want to be happy, we have to connect ourselves to Krishna. So we have the independent choice. Krishna gives it to us. So it's our choice. We want to accept Krishna as the source of all pleasure in this life right now and try to follow what the authorities are telling us, what the devotees are telling us, that engage in devotional service, hear and chant about Krishna and his glories. Or it's up to us that we come to the same point after thousands and thousands of lives. Krishna says that Bahunam Janmanam Ante Gyanavan Mam Prapadyante. That after many, many thousands of lives, one who is in knowledge. After many, many thousands of births and deaths, one who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the Supreme Lord. So here the devotees, the pure devotees, they are cutting short. They are telling us, make this your last life. Don't take so many thousands of lives to try to discover Krishna by your mental speculation, you know. Here it is said in the Vedas that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Engage in hearing and chanting, worship him, remember him, and you do not need to take thousands of lives to come to this point. And one who is fortunate enough to get this information through transcendental literatures like Srimad-Bhagavatam becomes permanently liberated to occupy his proper place in the kingdom of God. So we have been given this good fortune by the mercy of Lord Caitanya, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We have been given this message of Srimad-Bhagavatam. We have been given the holy name. It's up to us to accept it. To what degree are we accepting it? You know, we have to accept it with full faith. And then we can engage in devotional service with conviction, with faith. There was one time, one journalist was asking Prabhupada about Krishna. How do you know Krishna? So Prabhupada was saying, suppose the chief minister is there. So you recognize the chief minister when he's sitting in the office. Now, if the same chief minister comes out on the road in ordinary clothes, he's not wearing his official whatever, you know, his suit and coat, but he's just wearing his shorts and t-shirt. Does he stop being a chief minister? Just because he's out on the road and not sitting in his office, does he stop being a chief minister? So the reporter said, oh, well, no, he doesn't. It's a matter of faith. So Prabhupada said, no, it's not a matter of faith. It's a fact. It's a fact that he's still the chief minister, even if he is wearing his shorts and t-shirts and on a Saturday, Sunday, and he's not in his office. So same, Krishna, he is coming himself. He came himself and spoke the Bhagavad Gita to us and told us, I am God. I am the original personality of Godhead. And all the pure devotees, all the Vedas, they are telling us that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and we should render devotional service unto him. So it's not a matter of faith, it's a fact. You know, it's not that if we don't believe it, Krishna is going to stop existing as being the Supreme Lord. No, he still is going to continue as the Supreme Lord. It's only we are not able to recognize him, you know. So is that okay? Yes?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So we can go to the next verse, text 7. Abhashascha nirodhascha yato asti adhyavasiyate sa ashraya param brahma paramatmeti shabdayate. The Supreme One, who is celebrated as the Supreme Being or the Supreme Soul, is the Supreme Source of the cosmic manifestation, as well as its reservoir and winding up. Thus, he is the Supreme Fountainhead, the Absolute Truth. Synonyms for the Supreme Source of all energies, as explained in the very beginning of the Srimad-Bhagavatam, are Janmadi asya yata vadanti tat tattvavidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmatmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdayate, called Param Brahma, Paramatma or Bhagavan. So the very first verse of Srimad-Bhagavatam is that the Supreme Lord, he has many energies and he's the source of all these material and spiritual worlds. You know, and he is known as Paramatma, as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. The word iti used here in this verse completes the synonyms and thus indicates Bhagavan. This will be further explained in the later verses, but this Bhagavan ultimately means Lord Krishna, because the Srimad Bhagavatam has already accepted the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna. Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. The original source of all energies, or the summum bonum, is the absolute truth, which is called Param Brahma, etc. And Bhagwan is the last word of the absolute truth. So not only Krishna says that he's God, even Srimad-Bhagavatam says Krishna is God. And all the Vedas say Krishna is God. No other personality says that I am the source of all creation. Everything comes from me. You know, nobody says that. No demigod says that I am God. Durga Devi also never says I'm God. Lord Shiva never says he's God. Lord Brahma never says he's God. Ganesh Ji, he never says he's God. Hanuman Ji, he never says he's God. What do they all say? That Krishna is God and we worship Krishna. They all say that. So, but even with the synonyms for Bhagwan such as Narayan, Vishnu and Purusha, the last word is Krishna, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate, etc. Because Krishna says that I am the source. Everything is emanating from me. He's saying that. Besides that, Srimad-Bhagavatam is the representation of Lord Krishna as a sound incarnation of the Lord. Krishnesva dhamupagate dharma jnana divisaha kalau nashta drisham esha puranarko adhunoditaha. Bhagavatam 1.3.43. That after Krishna left this world, after he went back to the spiritual abode, then how are people going, because religion, knowledge, all are leaving with him. So how are we who are in darkness of ignorance? This Kali Yuga is like a dark, there's so much darkness in this Kali Yuga of ignorance. How will we get light? From Srimad-Bhagavatam. Srimad-Bhagavatam is the sound incarnation of Krishna. So it is for us, not only for Parikshit Maharaj 5,000 years ago. Srimad-Bhagavatam, Krishna has arranged the speaking for us because we each are going to die. So it's relevant for each of us. That hear about the glories of Krishna. Make this your last life. Don't come back home. I'm sorry. My God, so much in the material conception. Don't stay here in the material world. Go back home. Thus, by general conclusion, Lord Krishna is the ultimate source of all energies, and the word Krishna means that. And to explain Krishna or the science of Krishna, the Srimad-Bhagavatam has been prepared. So when we say Krishna, it's not that one person, Krishna. Like when we see a president coming of the country, if he's out, or even if he's in the office, he has so many of his secretaries, his aides, his bodyguards. He has like his whole team with him, isn't it? Whether he's sitting in his office or even when he's out, you know, there'll be so many parades of cars in front of him, back of him, police, security, like so many people are around him. Same way, when we think of Krishna, Krishna is never alone. Krishna has all his energies, his internal energy, his external energy, his marginal energy. Internal energy is his spiritual energy. Material energy is his external energy. Marginal energy is we, the living entities. In the first canto of Srimad-Bhagavatam, this truth is indicated in the questions and answers by Sutta Goswami and great sages like Shaunak. And in the first and second chapters of the canto, this is explained. In the third chapter, the subject is more explicit, and in the fourth chapter, even more explicit. In the second canto, the absolute truth as the personality of Godhead is further emphasized, and the indication is the Supreme Lord Krishna. The summary of Srimad-Bhagavatam in 4 verses, as we have already discussed, is succinct. This Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate issue as confirmed by Brahma in his Brahma Samhita as Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. So it is concluded in the third canto of the Srimad-Bhagavatam that Krishna, he's a person and he's the original person and he is the Supreme Lord and all the energies belong to him. Everything belongs to him. The complete subject matter is elaborately explained in the 10th and 11th cantos of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. In the matter of the changes of the Manus or Manvantaras, such as the Swayambhuva Manvantara and the Chakshusha Manvantara, as they are discussed in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th cantos of Srimad-Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna is indicated. In the 8th canto, the Vaivasta Manvantara explains the same subject indirectly. And in the 9th canto, the same purport is there. In the 12th canto, the same is further explained specifically regarding the different incarnations of the Lord. Thus, it is concluded by studying the complete Srimad-Bhagavatam that Lord Sri Krishna is the ultimate samam bonum, or the ultimate source of all energy. And according to the grades of worshippers, the indications of the nomenclature may be differently explained as Narayan, Brahma, Paramatma, etc. So Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and it is repeated in each and every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. In each and every canto, this is being explained, that Shyam Sundar Krishna, Brajendra Nandan Krishna, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everything belongs to him. We are his energies. Yeah, that's something that we have to understand, because otherwise, if we go directly to the 10th canto, we say, oh, Krishna is like us, what's the difference between him and us? No, he is the Supreme Lord. We cannot create universes. That's why we have to hear how he's creating the universes. What is his position in the universe, and what is our position in the universe? No? Is that okay?
Yeah. Could you just explain about Manus and Manvantaras?
So there are 14 Manus in one day of Krishna. Manu is the father of mankind. So he is the one who's like, all the living beings. He's like a king. And then, so each Manvantara means the time that the Manu is in ruling. That's called a Manvantara. So in one day of Brahma, there are 14 of them. We are going to be reading about them more in detail later. And then, so Krishna, he comes even because he has so many incarnations. His incarnations are like, they say, as waves in an ocean, as so many waves, they keep coming, no? We can't even count how many waves are coming. So same way, Krishna's incarnations keep coming. And so Krishna also has incarnations in every Manvantara, in every reign of the Manu. And so in each Manu's reign is about 71 of the Chaturyuga cycles. How we say in Lord Brahma's one day, there are 1,000 cycles. And so in one day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. And so each Manu is ruling for 71 of these Chaturyuga cycles of the Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So they are the rulers, Manus. And then he gives the law book, the laws for mankind. That's called the Manu Samhita.
Okay.
And this Manvantara is of the Vaivasta Manu. His name is Vaivasta. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, I think anyway we'll be reading.
More detail. Yeah, they're like he's a ruler at this time. Okay. Yeah. Okay. He's the ruler. So we can stop here for today. Thank you so much for joining in. Hare Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam, Jai Shila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Have a great day.